What's good, guys? Welcome back to Behind the Dugout, and it is match preview time. Chelsea heading over to the London Stadium to put the hammer down and pop some bubbles. But before we get into the match preview, West Ham, Chelsea, go over the lineup and the predictions, we got to talk about something. Chelsea have just dropped the third kit, and it is absolutely mint. Just take a look at this old school throwback. The colours are exquisite, the retro crest badge going back to those total 90 days. And I cannot lie, right? It's taken them a while, but this season, Nike have slapped with every single kit. They are unreal. And at the moment, I can't decide which one I like more, but this new kit, it's definitely got me feeling some type of way. And to make it even better, they are going to be wearing it tomorrow night against West Ham. It's going to look great. But I'd love to get your thoughts. Drop the comment below. Give me a rating on this kit. Which one would you prefer out of the three kits this season? Love to get your thoughts on that. Now, into the football. West Ham. Not had a particularly great start to life under Potter, and not great start to the season either. They got absolutely slapped up against Sunderland on the weekend, 3-0. And it wasn't like Sunderland were absolutely amazing, played them off the park, completely dominated the game. It was a little bit back and forth, and Sunderland took their chances and in the end just completely rolled them over. So it does beg to question how West Ham are going to cope against a stronger side in Chelsea. Of course, we didn't have the best of starts to the league, but we forget about that. We're moving on to all the positive vibes. They really did struggle against Sunderland, and they have definitely struggled under Graham Potter. It's not been a great start to life for him, as I mentioned. He hasn't really got them ticking, and nothing's really changed. In fact, they look like they're getting a little bit worse. They haven't really made any significant signings to improve the squads. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a tough time at West Ham. Of course, they've got Jared Bowen, who is always a threat, and he's definitely going to be one of those players that the backline are definitely going to have to keep an eye on. He's going to be on Cucurella's side majority of the time. I'm sure Cucurella will pocket him in this game, but he does have a goal threat, and he is their most sort of vital and most threatening attacking player. So they're just going to have to keep an eye on him. Chelsea, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about this game, and we have seen enough and we have done enough to prove that, we'll come out of this little blip that we did, and we're going to come back strong, fighting and ready to rock. And we are going to be putting the hammer down and popping those bubbles on Friday night. But one thing I have to say, and it's going to go into my lineup, is I feel because we've played so much football coming into the start of this season and a short pre-season, but only a few weeks break, Maresca is looking probably to rotate the squad to keep the players as fit and as fresh as possible, because it is a long old season. We've only gone through game week 1. We're going into game week 2 now, so we still got 37 games to play, plus FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Champions League. We want to be going far into all these competitions, and in order to do that, we've got to keep the players fresh. So rotation is going to be key, and it's not like we don't have strength and depth. I mean, across the board, you've got at least 2 players per position that can play, that will bring the same sort of quality and will provide the same sort of ability level and energy. So I think this is going to be one of the games that we're going to see a little bit of rotation from Maresca. With that being said, let's get into the lineup. Right, so I thought I'd do this one a little bit different than normal. Usually I've pre-picked the squad and then I just add it in the editing process, but I was like, nah, I'm not going to do it that way this time. I'm going to do it in real time, give you my thoughts in real time. So starting with the goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez, he has improved. We can definitely say he has improved, especially part of the back end season, had a really good Club World Cup and kept a clean sheet for the start of the season. So he will maintain and retain his spot as a starting number 1 with this Chelsea squad. Moving into the back line, into the right back position, I think this is going to be one of those positions that Maresca may look to rotate, being that Reece James, though he has done really well, he's maintained fitness, he's not picked up another injury of late, there is always that worry. They're still looking like they want to manage him correctly. So I feel like in this game, Maresca is going to go with Malo Gusto in the right back position, give Reece James a little bit of rest. I know it's only game week 2, but we also have to take into account the fact that we haven't had a lot of rest. So these players are still needing that rest period that they would have normally got during a normal preseason without the Club World Cup. So, as I said, this is where I think Maresca is going to go with a slight tweak to give Reece a little bit of rest. Centre backs. Now, we had some good news. Tosin is back. He's in training. Fofana's in training. So, in terms of the centre backs, we are looking a little bit healthier than we were looking last weekend. I think Tosin, if he's fit and he's ready, which from the sounds of it he is going to go straight back into the team in that right centre back role, alongside another centre back who I think has done nothing wrong and is probably one of our most stable centre backs in Trevor Chalobah. And I have to admit, when I watch Trevor and Tosin play, they are slowly starting to develop a partnership together. They're looking pretty good. Tosin is also one of those players that does like to attempt those line splitting passes, one that we definitely missed from Levi Colwell. So to have that extra addition of potentially those line splitting passes with Tosin, I think will be really, really good. It's not to say I think Josh Achimpong had a bad game. I thought he was really good against Crystal Palace. I just think in this game, Maresca will go with a bit more solidarity, a bit more of experience with the two players that have played a few more games together. Again, Josh and Trevor haven't really played that many games. And obviously, Josh is a right back, not a centre back, can play the centre back role. But I think Maresca would rather use him in his right back position. Left hand side, it's going to be vital. We've got to keep this man on the pitch. He is also going to be very important to locking down Jared Bowen, and that is Marc Cucurella. There's not much we can say about Marc Cucurella other than he has been superb, one of our standout players for a very, very long time. A brilliant, brilliant left back. I feel like this season he's even going to take it to that next level, starting, pushing on from this West Ham game. And I do think he's going to lock down Jared Bowen in this fixture. I think Jared Bowen is going to have an incredibly tough time against Cucurella in this game. Midfield pivot. This is another position where I feel Maresca may make a slight tweak. I feel Caicedo is definitely going to be a starter in this one. Solid player for us. One of our standout players. Great in stopping the counter attacks. He's great at pressing, and he does get the team ticking, especially when playing out from the back. Alongside him, this is where I think Maresca will make the change. Enzo is one of those players that I felt has come back from the holiday and is looking a little bit sluggish. So I feel like in this fixture, he's going to go with Andre Santos instead of Enzo Fernandez. Again, in the Crystal Palace, he was looking a little bit leggy, Enzo. I thought Andre Santos had a reasonably good sort of stint in the Club World Cup. I thought in the pre-season games, he did really well, picked up that assist for Liam Delap. And against Crystal Palace, though he scuffed the shot, but we don't care about that now, he did get himself in those goal scoring positions. He was progressing play and he was getting himself involved in the attack. What we expect Enzo to do, pick up those good passing and get into those areas where he can affect the game. So I feel like Maresca in this fixture, he's going to bring Andre Santos in, give Enzo a little bit of rest, and then give Santos his little time to shine. Attacking 3. This not so much rotation based. This, I think, from the player that I'm going to take out and replace is going to be down to merit. Starting with the middle, 10 is got to be the man himself, Cole Palmer. Needs to get more involved in the game. I think in this fixture, he will find those pockets of spaces that he desperately wants, desperately needs, and how he operates best. I think he's going to be quite an important person in this fixture, and we can talk about every game Palmer being important, because when Palmer's on it, we tick like, non-stop. We're banging teams, we're penning them back. Palmer is vital to the way that we play. But I feel like this game, if he picks up those pockets of spaces and distributes the ball the way that we know that he can, he's going to get a few assists, and I think he's going to score in this fixture, to be honest. So the flanks. On the left, this is where I think Maresca is going to make the change. I think the left hand of Palmer, he's going to play Pedro Neto. Reason being is I feel based on merit and the way that Estevao performed in preseason and especially in that Crystal Palace game when he came on, he injected that little bit of magic, you know, what we all want to see from a players. And I feel like Gittins is going to take a little bit more time to adapt to the league and what Maresca expects of him. So this is where I feel is a good time and a deserved time for Estevao to start this game against West Ham. Moving into the front man, João Pedro didn't have the best of games against Crystal Palace, but it doesn't take the fact that during pre-season and in the Club World Cup, he was exceptional. Liam Delap, when he did enter the pitch against Crystal Palace, he did inject something different. He is a very different striker to João Pedro, and he did provide us something that we were missing on the weekend. So it is a bit of a toss-up between which striker would be best suited for this fixture. But for me, and what I think Maresca is going to do, is I feel like he is going to go with João Pedro again in this fixture. I think João Pedro has shown enough in his short time being with us that he can be clinical, that he can link up and, you know, play exceptionally well with Palmer and the likes of Pedro Neto. We saw the assist that he got against AC Milan. So there is some good link ups developing. And then if you've got the likes of Andre Santos coming in, another Brazilian, and then if you've got Estevao playing on the right, another Brazilian, again, the chemistry in there, they're all playing internationally together, speaking the same language. I said Estevao still learning English, so it will do him well to have another player in and around the attacking position that could potentially communicate with him in his own language, just to build that chemistry, to create that fluid movement, that fluid communication. It could be very important to get all of these players, especially the likes of Estevao, ticking. That's my starting 11. That's what I feel that Maresca is going to go with in the fixture against West Ham. And I feel like this is quite a strong lineup. But to be fair, whatever way you look at it, if we were to take Gusto out, put Reece James in, Enzo for Andre Santos, we are strong across the board. Whatever player's coming out knows that the player coming in from him, if they are vying for that position, they are competing, and that competition does make most players improve. So I'm expecting, regardless of what squad we field against West Ham, to be too strong for them. Right, it's prediction time. How do I feel this game is going to go? What do I think the scoreline is going to be? For me, I think Chelsea are going to bounce back. I think we are going to show what all the fans have expected us to see from the start of the season. And I think we are going to win this game 3-0. I think we're going to be defensively solid. And I think the attacking line is going to be firing in this fixture. And we're going to prove to be too strong. And I'm going to say it again, we are going to put the hammer down and pop those bubbles. But that is all from me now, guys. I'd love to get your thoughts and your score predictions. Drop in the comments below how you think this match is going to go and what you think the score will be. Love to get your thoughts. But for now, that is all from me. If you are enjoying the content, please hit that subscribe button. Join us on this journey. For now, take care of yourselves, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.